Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth Hodge if you haven't seen my other videos. I wanted to start not a trending topic to do on YouTube, but just a fun thing to do if you have a lot of books like myself. I have a lot of series and a lot of individual books as well. So I wanted to do this titled What's on My Bookcase, and every video, I'll probably do a video once a week. I'll show you either one series or one novel, and I'm going to start off today with a series that I really like called The Summoning, The Awakening, and The Reckoning. I think it's just titled it's the Darkest Powers trilogy. And I think she actually came out with another book called The Gathering, but I think there's a completely different storyline to it. But just kind of the same type of name, like The Summoning, The Reckoning, The Awakening, The Gathering. I'm pretty sure it's just like a whole different thing, which I think is okay because I know a lot of different authors have done that. But I'm just going to get started. The first book is The Summoning. And basically, I'm going to read the back. Chloe Sanders used to have a relatively normal life. But now she finds herself in the middle of some really strange situations because 1, she suddenly starts seeing dead people. 2, she gets locked up in a group home for unstable teens. 3, the group home isn't what it seems. So basically, when she turns a certain age, she starts seeing dead people and dead things. Like if she thinks too long about her dead dog, it'll magically appear. And she became very troubled, and her mom was like, you know what, sweetie, I love you so much. Let's go to this camp. And it ends up being like a mental institution for children who are stating that they're, like seeing dead people or having issues. I'm just going to kind of do this so you can see it. So her mom tricks her into going to this place, and she meets a bunch of other kids who she later finds out, like one turns into a werewolf, one can change your thoughts, and it's like a mental asylum for kids and who think that they have magical powers and stuff. These parents are like, you're ridiculous, let's take you to this mental institution and get you drugged up. And it turns out one of the kids is the daughter of the owner of the place, and all the other kids find out that they're actually experiments. This mother found out that her daughter had special powers, so she came up with this institution for kids who think that they're mentally unstable and schizophrenic, imagining like dead people and stuff. And she goes mad with oh, I want to control these kids, so use them to my advantage. And she runs experiments on all the different kids. And I was just, at first, I normally don't like books like this. I'm normally into teen fiction about vampires and werewolves and stuff. But my friend recommended this book, and I was like, okay, I'll read it. It was, how much was it? It was like $18. I think I had a gift card, and I think I had a coupon for 20% off. So I was like, okay, well, fine, I'll get it. So I got it, and I fell in love with it. One criticism that I do have about the author is she does not, she leads up to all these, this big climax, and it turns up to be a middle school love story. They love each other, but it's not sexual. It's middle school PG-13 intimacy. It's hugging and kissing is the most they'll do. And I'm not a sex addict when it comes to books. I don't like details and stuff. I like imagining things. I know that sounds weird, but I don't like hugging and kissing. I mean, that's not a love story. That's a middle school crush. But she describes it as more than a middle school crush, how much she loves this guy, but that's really all it is throughout all 3 books. So if you're looking for a romance type of thing, it's not your book. It's not 50 Shades of Grey romance. It's not Twilight romance. It's middle school, keep it PG rated romance. But otherwise, like, the plot of the book is really good. But ask around, ask your friends, like, go to other videos that talk about this book. Don't just get it because of me. I don't want you coming back saying, oh my God, this book was horrible. Get second and third opinions on it, because that's what I like to do. This is the only series that I've ever just jumped into it from one recommendation. I normally get a lot more. The next book is The Awakening. And, like, watch this whole video because there's something, like, really amazing to come. And it's another reason why I love this book and I like the author. So the back of The Awakening, it looks pretty much like The Summoning. Each one has a jewel on it, and the book explains why. I'm not going to give it away. Yeah, this one. So what was that? A zombie? Liz tried to sound calm, but her voice crackled. Liz is the daughter of the owner. Something like that. And you can resurrect the dead. I stared at the crushed bat and murmured, I wouldn't call it resurrection. What about people? Can you, she swallowed, do that? I nodded. So that's what Tori's mom meant. And you raised zombies at Lyle House. I think it's Lyle House. I'm not quite sure. She says accidentally. So she accidentally resurrects dead people. Like, if she looks at an old warehouse building, she can see the dead people. If somebody, like, got chopped up in a machine, she can see that dead person. And the author doesn't go into descriptions about what the resurrected looks like, but she gives you a general idea. Like, they walk up to, I'm not going to give you, like, the plot of where they are, but she walks into an abandoned warehouse, and she goes over to some machinery that helped work the actual machine that made the products, like the little crank engine, and all of a sudden a dead body comes up, and she, like, describes him mangled, but she doesn't go, oh, his guts were spilling out everywhere and his head was decapitated. She just says he's mangled. And she assumed, like, when she resurrects the dead, she can see them dying. Like, it shows him going into the machine and the scream. Like, she describes how he screams and stuff, and it just, like, keeps happening until she says stop, and she, like, concentrates and, like, thinks about, like, actually pushing them away mentally, and if she opens her eyes and they're gone, it works, but sometimes it doesn't. And so that also has to do with what the little lanyards are, the little stones. So that was a really good sequel to it. You're telling me you can raise the dead simply by summoning? Yes. My God, she whispered, staring at me. What have they done? Hearing her words and seeing her expression, I knew I'd just done something worse than raising the dead. I'd confirmed her worst fears about us. In her eyes, I saw the same thing I saw when people looked at Derek. I saw fear, and I knew we were in trouble. So Derek is the guy who turns into werewolves, and I read on the back Tori. So that's what Tori's mom meant. So, correction, Tori is the daughter of the owner. Liz is, oh my gosh, Chloe's friend. This was like one of the first series I read a while ago, so excuse me if I'm not remembering names and details. But Tori is the daughter. Derek is the one who turns into a werewolf. There's another guy who she falls in love with, and Liz is her best friend through the whole thing. So a great thing about this author, her name is Kelly Armstrong, and I found her P.O. box online because I liked writing to authors, like congratulating them, saying, sorry, that was a stool, congratulating them on how amazing their work was and how great they are at being an author. So I sent her a letter, and I was like, oh my gosh, these books are amazing. I love them. Great job, great details. Congratulations. And I said, do you have book plates that you could sign for me that I could stick in my books to make them a little bit more personal? Because I like doing that. I don't get book plates to sell. I get book plates because I want to make them more personal, like mine. Like I have my name in it. I don't want to just write my name in the book because that ruins the book. So not only did she send me a book plate for each one, This one says, Elizabeth, best wishes, Kelly Armstrong. She signed it right here and wrote her name, Kelly Armstrong, and there's the little emblem thingy, a little crest. And then for the reckoning, Elizabeth, keep reading, again with a signature and her name. And for the awakening, Elizabeth, all the best. And this one's a little bit different than the other two. It's got kind of a border and like a faded look to it. And I thought that was really cute. And so I was like, oh my gosh, she sent me book plates. I'm so excited. I'm, so pleased to have an author that would do that. Not only did she send me book plates, she sent me a bookmark, The Summoning, The Reckoning, and The Awakening. The Awakening. She sent me a bookmark for each book with the title, and each bookmark has her signature on it. They all have her signature on it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I was like, oh my gosh, and it's got like a picture of the characters, like one sitting by a tree and one sitting in front of, I'm assuming, the warehouse where they left the book off at. So like each book has a bookmark, which I thought that was really cool, so I can keep my place if I read them again, which I have read them twice. But like I read them twice a while ago. So, normally, because a lot of people get greedy when they get things like bookmarks and book plates, they want to sell them and make some money. And I was like, there are so many authors who don't do book plates and don't sign anything because they don't want people to just make money off their signature. They want people who actually want their book plates. So it makes it harder for people who genuinely want them. It makes it harder for them to get it. And so not only did she send book plates, she sent signed bookmarks, which, is like not many authors have that kind of trust to send things like bookmarks. So I was just astounded that she would send something like that, because normally you don't see that in authors. So I congratulate her on that. I think she's a very good author for trusting people in that kind of way. So thank you so much for watching, and I have tons and tons more series, and so this series of vlogs is going to be titled What's on My Bookshelf, number 1, number 2, number 3, and I'm going to try and do all the series first, and then I'm going to do the individual books. So let me know what series you guys like to read. Comment if you've read this series. Tell me if you liked it, if you didn't like it, if there's more of a love story and I just didn't see it. Comment, like, and subscribe so that I know that people are watching these and I could still do more. I probably still will do them, but it's just kind of a little push that makes me feel like you guys are actually watching. Thank you so much again.